welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. We get ready to finish up our broadcast for the day, and it's Wednesday at 9:40 something.
Yeah.
Time for our CVE update. How are you doing, Leah?
I am doing great, Gene. How are you?
Well, it's another day, another 2 bits. And when we were off air, we were talking about the electric car. You guys have an electric battery electric car.
Yes, we have a Tesla.
A Tesla, and you got to take it to Ruidoso.
Yes.
And did you have to plug it in when you got up there for a little bit?
I left here with just a little over 200-mile capacity and drove to Ruidoso, and going uphill, a little different than coming back. So I literally pulled into the parking lot with 88 miles to go.
Oh, well,
so
okay.
it wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
But then I charged it overnight at Inn of the Mountain Gods, and if you're staying at the hotel or at the inn, you can charge there for free.
Okay.
They do require that you have the valet park you, though. So they'll go with you. They'll plug it in. I guess they don't want any vandalism or anything like that. So then you can just take a little ticket and leave it there until you're finished. And
okay.
Then coming back, I had a full charge of over 280 miles, and I used 32 miles less coming down the mountain than I did going up 2 days before.
Yeah.
So it was, there's definitely a difference.
Well, right, because most of your electric cars have what they call regenerative braking. So as you brake or slow down, it generates back into the system. So
yeah.
Well, good. Well, you're going to have the car. Superintendent Noel was mentioning last hour. There's going to be a career fair at the school. I guess out in the
it's in the Bulldog parking lot.
Bulldog Bowl parking lot. And so you're going to bring out the old electric car for
We
that?
are. Yeah, I mentioned it to Chuck this morning, and he said, why not? And so we'll have that out there, and we're trying to get some bucket trucks maybe or some other type of digger truck or something that we can show to the students. So, yeah, I like it when they do stuff like that outside, when we can have more people involved and more things that they can see.
Well,
So
you're probably one of the more popular exhibits. If I sat there and they say, hey, I'm with radio, they're just going to walk right on by.
Well,
and go look at the cool stuff.
We used to do that in Namoga. Oh gosh, I can't remember what all it was called, but they had a fair out here where they brought students in from other communities, and it was students that were involved with their maybe their science program, their engineering programs, or even IT type stuff in their school systems. So they didn't do that last year, but hopefully they'll do that this year, and it was out at the Bulldog Bowl parking lot.
Yeah,
so
it'll be great.
Yeah, and that was a really good turnout, and we did get a lot of attention, especially with that bucket truck.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
those
and the guys liked showing it off.
Of course, that's fun. So.
Well, and one of the guys I was going to mention that you already mentioned today that who liked to go to our career fairs and like to show off the different types of trucks was Mr. Copeland, Jerry Copeland, who we lost last week, and we will have his funeral and services on Saturday in Pinon, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of CVE folks going to that.
Well, the funeral announcement said he was active. I mean, he was a current employee, so he wasn't retired. He was working. So.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's sad.
It is sad.
Yeah.
It is sad. He was a lot of fun at the career fairs, and he was just a well-liked fella. So, and I used to live next door to him for about 3 years, and so Troyce and I got to know him really well. And anyway, he'll be missed.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And his funeral is Saturday, if I remember.
That's right, 11 a.m. in Pinon.
And you can always tell when it's a country, because in the funeral announcement, it mentions the potluck that follows.
Right. Yes.
And there's a lot of times those happen, but this was in the funeral announcement.
Yep.
So come to the funeral.
Come on, all those folks. So we're planning on taking up some food first thing Saturday morning and spend some time with the family.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking in the newsletter that's
the enchantment.
This is from out of the enchantment.
Yeah.
And it looks like your section is dedicated to National Cooperative Month.
So October is National Cooperative Month, and we typically do a lot of member appreciation kind of things in October. We didn't get to do much last year. We don't really anticipate doing much this next month, obviously. But so we took some field trips, and we went out and met some folks who do some very unique things. So we met with the Johnson Farms folks and Rosie Sterrett, who does her goat farming.
Goat farmer extraordinaire, it says right here.
She's been doing it for years, and she makes cheese, and she has a name for every one of her goats. They're like her little kids, literally. It's precious the way that they just follow her around, and
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she took us out to where she feeds them and where they do their their business, and she's got the males and females, and yeah, she's got a well-oiled business right there.
Well, I know the cheese is really good.
Oh, it's delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had often, but every so often, a little bit will show up, and I'm like, well, this is really good stuff.
Yeah, so that's a really good story. The story about the Johnson Farms and the history that goes along with that, and the auction that they had in August, and
a lot of tractors.
yes, he had a love for tractors and just a great storage place for all of them too, and took really good care of them over the years.
Okay. Do you have now? Is this for the month? This is the newsletter in the Enchantment magazine. That's for the whole month. For
October. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
But are you doing anything like on your Facebook or on your website where you're talking about any of the other members?
We have this coming up on Facebook tomorrow.
Okay.
So we have the link to that. It goes out in our email this weekend.
Okay.
So it'll go out October 1st. Actually, Friday, I guess. And then so as far as any other stories, we don't have anything scheduled for print.
Okay.
But I'm sure throughout the month of October, we'll do as many as we possibly can.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's great. Well, what else did you want to talk about today?
So I just wanted to stress another time that as far as solar or any other
okay.
type of renewable energy, we need to play a part in that. We've got a lot of customers asking about it now, and we have a lot of solar companies that have made contact with us that are wanting information. And there's just so many kind of unanswered things about solar that we can't always answer. And one thing to make clear is that CVE does not work directly with a particular solar company in any way, shape, or form. So if a member customer wants to get involved with that, they can choose their own solar company. We don't sell solar panels. We don't install solar panels. Yesterday was the first time I got a call for that. And I think there's some confusion with that one postcard that I showed you that had CVE on it. There was a completely different company. So just so that everybody knows, Central Valley Electric Cooperative is not involved with any solar companies at all. So it's the member's choice to deal with whoever they want. And we don't sell that kind of stuff, but we do interconnect with that service if it's needed.
If it's needed. But that's part of the process when a customer thinks about going to solar.
Right.
That's why you want them to talk to CVE first, so that you can make sure from the utilities perspective that the customer understands all of the aspects of that process that they need to understand.
You hit the nail on the head. That's exactly right. And we've just got to make sure that that no private information is released without their permission. And sometimes we get asked can you give us this? Of course, we can't until we have a document that says we can. And, we're trying to keep track of all that. We have this great new contact system in our database where we can literally go in and kind of make case notes, if you will, of what's going on with each member. So if they call about a concern or if they have a question about something, we can notate that in their file, and then we can go back and follow up with it. So I think I've bragged on it 100 times, but the IT that we have at Central Valley Electric and the options that we have with our computers, it's amazing. Yeah, it keeps us on our toes.
So just make sure you keep CVE in the loop.
Yes.
Not at the last minute.
Please, yes, because we had one that was fully constructed that we found out about a week and a half ago, and it was like, wow, we didn't even know that was being built.
Yeah.
And I guess that's not necessarily a huge problem, but it doesn't follow the New Mexico Public Regulation Commission rules and regulations. So, if they're not following the rules, it's hard for us to follow the rules. So it's just easier if everybody would follow the manual.
Yeah. No, it would be great. And I'm assuming at some point in time, well, you don't want to get into that position. It'd be kind of nice to have a rating system. Like, how would CVE rate these particular solar companies? But you can't do that. But.
Well, I know that we communicate with a lot of different people within the different companies, and we don't really have much exposure but to 2 or 3 companies. But there's so many people within those companies that you talk to that they do have turnover, and then you kind of get lost in your time frames, and if you don't have an ongoing communication with somebody. But they do have a lot of people involved with each company.
Yeah.
So
no, that's true. And I've got a little issue, not an issue. It's just something that we thought we had straightened out a year ago, and then I got a copy of an email. It's been a year.
Oh, yeah.
This has still not been corrected.
Your compliance stuff.
Yeah. Well, no. It's a totally different thing. But
Okay.
it's one of those things that we were made aware of a name change issue a year ago. We talked to people. We exchanged emails. We were assured everything was correct and proper and taken care of.
Yeah.
And then we get the new correspondence for this year, and it hasn't been
Right.
It hasn't been corrected, and so that's part of what I get to try to pound somebody in the head on today. But I bet I talked to a whole different group of people.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
From the time you did last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. I found that a lot. And I don't always know who to communicate with because they have their own departments that handle this, and this. So I'm still trying to figure that out. And thank goodness we have a great team of people at CVE that are working on these projects to make sure it runs smoothly. So, we're learning. We're definitely learning.
Bottom line is, if you're going to consider solar.
Yes.
Or other renewable energy.
Wind could come up. We don't at this point in time have any active wind interconnections, but that's not to say that that's not an option too. So,
but before you're thinking about it, you've done a little bit of research.
Yeah.
You're thinking about getting more information. Call CVE.
That's right. If you're a CVE member,
right.
Yeah,
right.
because I have gotten phone calls from people from other utilities that asked us if we sell the solar panels, and we don't. So there's been a little confusion with that, like I said, that other company. But yeah, please call Central Valley Electric 575-746-3571. You can send us a message, via our email services off of our website at cvecoop.org. You can also message us on Facebook. But we did put out some information just yesterday, a little bit more about solar. So we are working on a publication in November that will have even more. So just remember to give us a shout preferably before you get involved.
Before they start turning dirt.
That's right. Definitely before they start digging.
Yeah, no, that would be great to get that accomplished. So, well, good. Well, what else is on your list that we need to talk about today?
I think that's it. We're looking forward to getting back involved with the schools. We hopefully will get in there soon and start doing our safety demonstrations. We have the coloring contest. Georgia over here at Incredible has our coloring sheets ready to go, and
Good.
We'll get those distributed across the state. And Georgia's been a trooper the last few years. She has made the coloring sheet copies for all of the co-ops in the state of New Mexico.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So we just we stick them in Chuck's vehicle, and he takes them up to Santa Fe and gets them out to everybody.
Gets them handed out. So that's a good deal. So,
yeah.
Well, great. Well,
thank you very much.
I think we've covered everything for today. So thank you for coming in. And when you see Rosie, do you just start singing the water song?
Water, 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 water. Yes.
Everybody loves water.
Yeah.
So,
she's been a good friend of mine for years, and we were so blessed to get to meet her and see what she does. And of course, Mr. Johnson. So these stories are, unlike any other co-op. So I hope everybody reads it.
That's good. And that's in the Enchantment magazine. And then you're going to have them up on your...
Yep. We'll have it on Facebook tomorrow, and then we'll have it on the email distribution this weekend.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Well, Leah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Gene.
Appreciate you coming in, and have a great rest of the week.
Okay, you too.
Oh, and I have something for you to take to...
Mr. Anderson?
I do.
Okay.
It's in my office.
I
So
will
let
wait.
me finish
I'll
this
wait
up and
for
I'll
you.
get this
Okay.
done. All right. Thanks a lot. Okay, we're going to finish up the show today. Again, if you missed the soccer game or the volleyball game from last night, soccer girls beat Portales 3-0. Volleyball girls swept Roswell 3 sets to nothing. And if you missed them, they're up there on the internet, so you can go back and watch them at ksvptv.com, and they are there for you to go back and enjoy. Tomorrow, the boys soccer team is opening up against Goddard in their district play. Why can't I hit the right number over here? And that's Thursday. 4 o'clock for the JV, 6 o'clock for the varsity. There's going to be a tailgate out there as the boys soccer take on Goddard to start district tomorrow out at the Mac Chase Complex. We'll see you tomorrow. Expecting to hear right now.